Hello, world, and welcome to the Common Sense Man news and talk show here on this Tuesday, May 29, 2018. We missed yesterday the holiday. I was busy. Sorry, I had guests and I couldn't do it here. But I'm back Tuesday, 29th, Common Sense news and talk show here. It's where we discuss news from different news sources on the internet. We discuss it in a common sense way, trying to bring the left and to right together on any subject we can, really. And you can write in your comments or questions to commonsenseman@gmail.com. That's common with a K. Or call in. Let's get some live discussion here. Let's get this thing going. 805-994-06 to the 06. All right, we're going to start today. We're going to start the other way. We're going to go from BBC on and top news in BBC. A Belgium attack. A gunman kills 3 people, including 2 female officers in Belgium before he was killed by the Belgian police. I believe he injured 2 other people, so they don't know if that's a terrorist attack yet. They haven't heard, but I'm sure that'll be coming out here shortly, so our prayers and thoughts for their families. Moving over to the USA Today. Their top news story is racism expert tackles the root of all white defensiveness. And it has a picture, I believe, of the 2 African Americans that got shafted there at Starbucks a couple of months ago. So on that note, Starbucks will be closing 8,000 stores on Tuesday to go over some of this type of prevent discrimination training. So there you go. It's going to be interesting. And another little, I don't know if this is a fact or just a statement or whatever, but 8 in 10 blacks say racism is a big problem in America society, and about half of whites say it's a problem. And I'm going to go with that half of the Caucasians that say yes, it is a problem. I see it. It's not hard to see. You just got to open your eyes. Actually, open your eyes, and maybe if you hung out, if you knew, like I have African American friends, and I've gone out with them, I've done things, and you could see that things are a little different when they're around you and the way they're treated. It's inappropriate, not acceptable in my opinion. Moving over to the CNBC, Dow sinks 300 points as Italian politics sent jitters across Wall Street. Don't know much about that. We're not going to read into that. But we'll move over to the CNN, and here the big story is a couple things. Breaking news is White House slaps tariff on $50 billion worth of goods from China. So expect prices to be going up. Or again, for every action, there's a reaction. Expect prices to be going up on things that you buy from China, because everything's made in China. So I'm assuming there's going to be things going up. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Big news there now is Trump peddles new conspiracy theory on on this whole Russian thing. The president steps up attacks on this credibility of the Russian probe. Without proof, he says Mueller's team will meddle in midterm elections. Obviously, that's what he's concerned about. Moving over to Fox News, Mueller's midterm meddlers. Trump warns special counsel's team of angry Democrats will look to leak as voters near. And getting into that story, a couple tweets from Mr. Trump. The 13 angry Democrats, plus people who worked 8 years before Obama, worked on rigged Russian witch hunt, will be meddling with the midterm elections, especially now that Republicans, state tonight, are taking the lead in the polls. There was no collusion except by the Democrats. And then a second tweet. Why aren't the 13 angry and heavily conflicted Democrats investigating the totally crooked campaign of totally crooked Hillary Clinton? It's a rigged witch hunt. That's why. Ask them if they enjoyed her after her election celebration. Trump's funny. He's something else. I mean, that's somebody who, if he wasn't the president, if I just knew or saw out and about or was part of an organization that I was involved in or whatever, that guy, I would call him a prick. That is the word I would use to describe him. He is just a big ego prick, and I try not to bash him here on this news thing that we do here. I try to be neutral, but he is a fucking prick. It's amazing. He's just he wouldn't last in the regular society, in regular normal us, like the normal people. He would not last. He would not last here. He would not have any friends. He would just be an outcast, in my opinion. He would not last here in regular society. If it wasn't for his money and power, he would be nothing. All right, moving over to ESPN News. The Warriors pulled off a come-from-behind victory yesterday to win Game 7 and go to the 4th consecutive finals against the Cavaliers, which I believe opens on Thursday. On this date, May 29, 2010, is when Holiday pitched a perfect game against the Marlins. I remember that. And that's about all going on right now in sports news. Moving over to the T to the M to the Z, my entertainment news. Morgan Freeman, lawyers lash out at CNN and sexual harassment story. Morgan Freeman is lashing out at CNN over its report that he sexually harassed women. His lawyer calling the story the product of a malicious intent, falsehoods, sleight of hand, and an absence of editorial control and journalistic malpractice. Wow. I hope that's true. I hope it's all untrue, because my man, I like Morgan Freeman, one of my favorite actors. And it just goes to show, and again, I don't know if this is true or not, that especially in news, especially if you're in broadcasting, you can just make up shit, really. And it's really damaging. Look at this news. I mean, hopefully it's not true. I really do hope it's not true. But it's just sad that this false news that comes out, not that this is false, but there's a bunch of false news. False news should be treated very severely with the punishment. I mean, if this proven that you're throwing out false news on this level, it should really be, I don't know, bad. Roseanne makes Muslim apes joke about Obama advisor, deletes and apologizes. And it has just a nasty picture of her, which she always has nasty pictures. But Roseanne Barr says she's done with social media just hours after she fired off a racially charged tweet at former advisor to President Obama. And here's what she said. Rosanna's random tweet late Monday night said, Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had baby VJ? I don't know what that means. She responded to a tweet about Valerie Jarrett, an African-American woman who was one of Obama's closest advisors while she was in the White House. Wow. Oof. Roseanne, man, you gotta chill out, man. Don't be so angry. Okay, moving over to travel and leisure. Not much going on travel and leisure, but one of the big things is why this southern city has one of the most exciting culinary scenes in the country. Which city are they talking about? You're thinking, southern city. What southern city could that be? Well, it's Lexington, Kentucky. Besides being, known for bourbon country and all that other kind of stuff, and having horses and all that stuff, they are now they're very broad in their restaurants. They say 1 in 5 restaurants are actually Asian now. So Lexington, Kentucky, go figure. You think they just be southern food and stuff? Nope. Get whatever you want there. So there you go. That's the travel and leisure today. That's going to end it for our news. We are going to go back to Facebook and get one of their quotes, which is going to kind of come in with the whole Trump thing being what I called him earlier. God, man, why did I can't imagine people defending this guy sometimes, just the way he is. He's just such a prick. And I don't know, can I get in trouble for saying that about the President of the United States? I mean, he is. He can be a prick. And I try to defend him sometimes, because he does make good decisions on stuff. He has that ability to, he puts his foot down, doesn't take shit, and I think it actually helps in a lot of things. But here it is, his Memorial Day tweet, quote, whatever. Happy Memorial Day. Those who died for our great country would be very happy and proud at how well our country is doing today. Best economy in decades, lowest unemployment numbers for the blacks and Hispanics ever, and women in 18 years. Rebuilding our military and so much more. Nice. That's from President Trump. That's what he said on Memorial Day. He made it a political thing about him. That's horrible. I mean, how can you defend that fucking prick? Right? And this is the tweet that follows that from a David Foreman. That is. Many people question this president, but it's no small achievement to write the grossest, most inappropriate, most self-flattering Memorial Day message in the history of the United States presidency. There you go. that's going to end today. Please subscribe to my channel, the Common Sense Man's News and Talk Show here on YouTube. Call in. Let's discuss it. Write in. Let's discuss some of this stuff. Let's discuss this. Let's discuss President Trump. Like I said, I try to. I don't. Not that I defend him or anything. I try not to bash him, but this is just ridiculous. Sometimes he's just. It's embarrassing, really. Like I said, he was in regular society with the people I know and hanging out in organizations. He'd be considered a prick. He wouldn't be president of any organization I've been a part of. He wouldn't. He couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle it. There you go. President Trump couldn't handle being a president of any small organization that I, Eric Salas, am part of. I just said it here live. All right, it's going to end it. Have a great day. We will see you on Hump Day Wednesday.